wabarakatuh. My name is Triana Hajri Yisra. I'm from 4E class. So in this video, I would like to explain about managing disruptive behavior. In managing disruptive behavior, we will discuss about 5 main topics. The first one is teaching expected behaviors. And then the second is student behavior reflects culture norms. The third is implementing discipline. The fourth is consideration for different types of punishments. And the last is corporal punishment. Now we move to the first topic. It is teaching expected behaviors. Teachers usually have a clear vision of how students are expected to behave. But many teachers forget to share that vision with their students at the beginning of the year. They assume students already know what behavior is expected or that they will pick it up along the way. It's best not to assume anything. You must spend some time at the beginning of the year teaching these behaviors and coming to some common agreement about what appropriate classroom behavior is in your class. After all, each teacher will create a unique classroom culture with his or her students. Be clear with your students from the start about your expectations. The result will be more time spent on teaching and learning and less time on disruptions and discipline. Next, why does students misbehave? The answer is, there are several reasons a student may behave inappropriately. Does the reason make a difference? It should if you expect to try to change the behavior. Stretch your mind a bit by trying to imagine a variety of reasons students might exhibit the behaviors below. Try and come up with at least 3 explanations for each, including a circumstance beyond their control. The second topic is about student behavior often reflects cultural norms. It is observation activity. Think about behavior and inappropriate behavior in a context broader than just the classroom. Make a point of observing and noting what you see in a variety of locations. In the community in general, like on roads, in the market, where people gather, or in the family setting, and in informal and formal meetings of adults. Next, how to implementing discipline. Despite your best effort to engage students in interesting lessons and to provide positive reinforcement of appropriate behavior, some students will misbehave in your classroom and disrupt instruction and learning. What is considered inappropriate behavior and how should you manage it? The answer to this question depends on the teacher's tolerance for certain student behaviors, and then the instructional situation, like talking is fine during group work but not during a written test, and the school's culture norms. The table below will help you explore classroom behaviors from the book that we share. From your perspective, read the behavioral prescriptions in the first column and use the volunteer column to check yes if you consider the behavior listed to the inappropriate or if you are not sure or it depends on circumstance at other possible misbehaviors. Next, about discipline ideas. Competent teachers use a variety of discipline tools. Because students have different learning styles and learn at different paces, most teachers realize they need to teach the same material using several methods to ensure learning. It is the same with discipline. One approach does not work for all students or in all situations. The solution is to have a variety of discipline tools from which to choose. Below, there are some lists, like in the book, as you can see in the book. See if some of this can be adopted to work for you. There is also a consequence worksheet sample at the end of this chapter. The next is considerations for different types of punishment. The cards on the following page contains typical school punishments from different cultures. Some may not be used where you are teaching for important cultural reasons, and you may find some of this acceptable in your school, although there are things you can or would not want to do. Read the first two punishments, like you can see in the books, why teachers may use them and why they are unnatural or ineffective. Add some of your own observation and then continue with the rest of the chart, filling in the information on uses and effectiveness. You may see some of this used and not understand the really know. And then the last talk with colleges to understand their perspectives. The last is corporal punishment. Corporal punishment is a discipline approach currently unacceptable to most Americans and is not as volunteer teachers most problematic discipline issue. Unfortunately, there is no quick and easy solution to this complicated issue, but there are actions volunteers can take that may help eradicate corporal punishment over time. Volunteers are not the only ones troubled by corporal punishment. Hundreds of studies have identified the negative effects of corporal punishment. The United Nations has clearly expressed its view in UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Governments and ministries of education in numerous nations have launched programs to reduce or eliminate corporal punishment. Yet the widespread practice or corporal punishment continues. The voice of those most affected or students are not being heard. What can volunteers do to reduce corporal punishment incidents? The answer is the corporal punishment situation is different in each country, so consult Peace Corps staff about this sensitive issue. They can advise you concerning corporal punishment laws and then culture norms and organizations that they are working in a country to address this problem. The country director and Peace Corps staff may also be able to share techniques other volunteers have found to be effective and a set of guidelines for responding to corporal punishment incidents. If corporal punishment guidelines don't currently exist, Peace Corps staff, host country partners, and volunteer and then teacher may want to consider formulating a set of guidelines to inform trains volunteers of appropriate action. Alright, I think that's all for my explanation. I'm sorry for all the mistakes and thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.